Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta, and I do strike again. Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. You know, all of that stuff. If you are ever in Minnesota and you run into some trouble with maybe a certain division of the government called the law, and you need some help, give me a call. Look me up. Shoot me an email. Drop me a DM. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. And I will help you. Or try. Or get you someone else who can help you if I can't. How's it going, guys? Good to see you. Sorry I was not around yesterday. I'll tell that story in just a second. Let me take a drink of tea before we move on to the big stuff. Okay. I lied? What did I lie about? Okay, hold on. Let me get these. So Bagel Goose says late Kata strikes again. JP4 says you lied. Well, thank you both, even though I sense a little bit of mockery in those super chats. But what did I lie? What did I lie about it? No token this stream. I will bring him back. This is way far away. Hold on. Let me zoom in this camera just a tiny bit because it's I had to, speaking of tokens, I had to zoom out because my buddy is a monster. So you know, let's see. Follow my face. I don't want to play with that stuff. Is this good? Yeah, that's good. Okay. Sorry, we're learning technology on the fly. Okay. So no, the my buddy Drexel, who was on my 10,000 subscriber spectacular, he will be back at some point. But guys, we live a couple hours apart, and he's a very busy person, works and travels a lot. You know, apparently a lot of cuckery to fix in the world. Or whatever he's doing on his gallivanting around the earth. No, he's a traveler, and so just finding times to link up and do shows is tough, but he got a very good response, so we'll do more. Even though YouTube hated him so much that they demonetized the stream, which I thought was pretty tame. I didn't think there was anything worthy of demonetization in that stream. We called Maddox a cuck. We said that wasn't good. It's not. It's not a good thing. Oh, I'm taking pills. All right, Bagel Goose says, I bet you don't even specialize in tortilla. Oh yeah, JP4. That was yesterday. And I'm gonna tell you why I couldn't do it. Why I couldn't stream last night. In just a second. Marsupial Gamer is saying, yeah, TUG taken down. Wait, when you say that umbrella guy was taken down, do you mean his whole channel or just a video? I saw that just some guy had a video taken down. Comicsgate is under attack. We're going to talk about that. Hamilton Burger, I'm sorry. I still got to clear up some stuff before I can do the daytime streams. That's coming. It's coming. Bagel Goose says, I bet you don't even specialize in tort law. Oh, yeah, I already saw that. Sorry. And Spookmeyer says, Nick, you can't call them monsters. That's racist. Well, I mean, I don't know why you're racist against monsters. Loose for Love Monkey says, I tune in and see Nick popping pills again. Yeah, this is the story of how everything goes. This is how the internet works, right? People take what you do on this show and expand it to every aspect of your life, which is why I am now renowned as a raging alcoholic. You know, but that comes with the turf, right? It comes with the turf. Speaking of raging alcoholic, I'm going to start tonight with some Koskui. The Finns have to fix their language because I can't pronounce it. This gin that was sent to me by Keck7Go. Very good. He got a guideline strike? Wow. Maybe I'll have to have him come stream on my channel. I'll host that Umbrella guy for a discussion if he's up for it. Tug, if you're out there, buddy, and I'll send you a private message. But if you want to do a stream on my channel, we can work that out. Okay, so let me preview before we recap. And let me talk about what's coming this week. Okay, so tomorrow night will not be a stream. Tomorrow night I will attempt to have a video prepared for tomorrow. I have a couple ideas of good things that need to be done, but those are going out the window because I just found the Jeremy Hambly versus Matt Loader lawsuit. So that is probably going to be the video tomorrow, previewing the complaint. Service was made on Matt Loader today. So this is fresh. The suit was filed on the 5th of October. It didn't occur to me that it was in federal court and I could easily find it, but it is. So I will be covering Hambly versus Loader tomorrow in a preliminary video. I've already talked a little bit about this. I might make fun of Hambly, even though he's just a YouTube guy. He's kind of, this is BetterHelp. So it's just a joke. It's a joke, Hambly. Quartering. Unsleeved. Why are you unsleeved? Anyway, and get off my knee, man. Get off my knee. So that'll probably be the video tomorrow. Thursday, we're communicating by DMs, and it's a little back and forth, but I'm 99% sure we have Andy Warski on Thursday, same time, 11 p.m. Central. He will be here live. We are going to discuss the disaster, the unmitigated nonsense that is going on between Warski and Tonka and Kraut and all of these people who have forgotten that the internet is a place to have fun. And there's all sorts of weird stuff going on. Like, I don't even know, but Warski has said he will be here. We're going to talk about the leaks. I'm going to take a look at what has happened. I'm trying to catch up on streams and do research, so I'm caught up on this. But I'm going to talk to Warski and get his opinion. And the reason I'm going to do it this way, and this is why I think this will be maybe interesting. Eric Bieberbach, those are just vitamins, man. They're just vitamins, buddy. Here, I'll show you what they are if I can. It's Advocare. It's like a diet supplement vitamin. So that was, don't worry. I'm not like pounding liquor and medication. It's NH Nate, I'm only insulting Hambly in good fun. So don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it all. I'll talk about it all in the video. I have like the minorest of gripes about something. It's really, I'm pretending. Warski, however, is supposed to be coming on Thursday at 11 o'clock. So join me for Warski live. So the idea that I want to do for the Warski video is, someone mentioned that like one of Tonka's fans tried to like start some animosity between me and Andy, which was just silly. But I don't know, Twitter's a weird medium for communications, but no. So that whole situation is such a mess. It's such a mess. And I know I've been warned, I've been cautioned by a lot of people to be careful of getting into it because, some of the people on the Tonka camp are kind of like out there. Some of the people on the Warski camp might be kind of out there. And there's like doxing and stuff going back and forth and all sorts of crazy nonsense. So what I'm going to do is have an interview with Warski, and I'm going to try... I want to interview him as much as he'll let me about him because I only know a little bit about him. Very small. But I want to learn a little bit more about him and then talk about this case as if he were coming into my office. So it would be similar to how I do just kind of a preliminary interview on a case. So for anybody worried or whatever, I'm not picking sides. I don't have any vested interest in the outcome of their beef. Other than the vested interest I have is making good content and helping to get to some answers for people. From what I've seen, I think that Warski may have a case. Maybe something he'll tell me on Thursday will change that. I don't know. And then maybe I'll consider interviewing Tonka. I don't know. No one's asked me. I went and I asked Warski if he would do the interview because I saw all this stuff and it looks really interesting. So, and plus, I've got a video coming out very soon about how internet blood sports affects defamation and how that has been impacted by Trump. It's a weird sort of way that these things are coming together and these worlds are kind of colliding. But there's some interesting questions about defamation and internet blood sports and stuff like that. So that is going to play into the Warski interview. I'll be referencing stuff I learned there. And like I said, I'm not opposed to interviewing Tonka or anybody else. Guys, it's the internet. There's no reason to do all this crazy stuff to each other. But that's Thursday. Too much talking. That's Thursday. Friday. Very interesting. I think Friday will be a great stream. We're going to have Stephen Birch, my favorite IP lawyer, Stephen Birch. He's been on the show a couple times. And we're going to have Grand Admiral C, who is another lawyer in Michigan. I'm not going to dox his name. I will let him go by whatever moniker he wants, or he can tell you, but he is a licensed attorney up in Michigan. We are going to have a 3-attorney panel. We're going to start by talking about the Discord terms of service change, looking at whether people should consider opting out of that arbitration agreement, what all of that means. We're going to look at the YouTube super chat change. I know that Leor talked about it today. I haven't watched it. I don't know if I doubt I'm going to have time to watch Leor's stream about it because it's like 2 hours long and I've got full days tomorrow and Friday. So I don't know if I'll get around to it. So we won't be poaching opinions from Leor. We'll be giving our own takes on it. And then after we get done with Discord and YouTube, we're going to open up a new segment that I would like to do as full shows from time to time, where I want to host, and you guys tell me if you're interested in this. I want to host groups of attorneys from all over, whoever wants to come on. This is not like specialists or anything like that. We're going to just have groups of attorneys who want to come on, have fun in a hangout, and we'll do a free, high level, or free or whatever, super chat, however you want to do it, high level legal advice clinic. We'll take basic questions. You could steal them from our legal advice or whatever. Catch you later, JP4. But we're going to do a panel discussion, and we're going to take questions. Hopefully we'll get lots of interaction with that, and we'll give you legal answers that will not amount to legal advice, because we can't do that over the internet without meeting you and without getting to know you and informing that attorney-client relationship. But we want to get people to be able to come on and say, hey, I've got this issue. Like, people DM me a lot about various issues that come up in their lives. And some of them are really private. They wouldn't want to say it in a chat. That's fine. But do I need to talk to a lawyer? What should I ask? Who should I look for? What am I doing? That's the type of stuff I want to have, like a weekly or bi-weekly show where we just get some lawyers on, we have some drinks and laugh and have fun, make fun of people and take advice, make fun of people who are not asking for advice, right? Make fun of like Michael Avenatti and Mark Zaid and stuff like that. And then the answer questions. So that's all. So good hangout. So that's what we're going to do. We will all be in different states. So don't think that if you bomb one of us that you'll get us all. It would have to be a highly coordinated attack. We'll be spread out in separate concrete bunkers, deep under government buildings. So there's that. Ian Sterling, man, that's a toss-up, buddy. So yeah, so there's that. Next, okay, so we have Loose for Love Monkey says, always been curious, why do colleges get to exercise so much legal control on campuses and over students? It's based in how let me think of how to word this. Okay. Private schools are allowed to exert so much control over you or over their students because they're private schools and you've entered into a contractual relationship in which you give them the ability to do so. Public schools, public colleges, public university systems are pseudo-government entities. Many of them are privately run as nonprofits, and they get significant state funding, but so long as even 1% of their funding is non-state and they're run by a private organization, then they're private. So they're private entities still. They just have lots of state assistance. So they get to basically ruin your life in the same way. There can be state action from either of those schools. It's still possible to have state action that infringes upon your rights, but largely they're private institutions. Yes, they're private schools that receive federal funding. Okay, so that's the short answer, is that they're private and they have contractual rights over you. The longer answer is that there's a lot of balancing that goes on, balancing of rights. Like you have a relationship with the school, so let's even assume that it's a government and it's fully subject to all of your constitutional protections. There's 2,000 other people that they also have a relationship with just around you, plus everybody else. So your rights get balanced constantly around the rights of others. If you become what some would consider disruptive to the rights of others, then they have to make a balanced approach to whose rights to infringe. Like, do they infringe your rights and curb your speech or curb your activity that is infringing upon other people's interactions? Or do they let you continue to infringe their rights? So it's a very long and deep sort of web of relationships and rights that play into how they're able to exert so much control. Also, they just get a lot of deference because they're very old institutions and many of them have a lot of money. And we overvalue that education by so much that we overpay professors. I'm sorry, professors out there. I know there are many of you who are good, but that's a bloated system, but it's mostly administrative. The administrative system on universities is insane. I hope that helps. Oh yeah. So that's Friday. We're going to be talking about that. Where did the stuff? I don't know if I should get Legal Eagle yet. I might be making fun of Legal Eagle soon. We'll see, guys. The first show will be On Friday will be me, Birch, and Grand Admiral C. You know, I know other lawyers in other states. There's Keon, who's the famous lawyer from the Dick Show. I'd like to get, you know, Jeremy Hambley's lawyer, Bill Richmond? Simmons? Bill Simmons? His name is not Bill Simmons. It's not that basic, is it? Give me just a second. Bill Richmond. Bill Richmond. That is also Crowder's lawyer. Stephen Crowder's lawyer is Bill Richmond, that's who Jeremy Hambley hired. So, you know, I would love to get him on the show. He's a very funny guy. There's a bunch of different lawyers. I know lawyers personally who I'd love to have on the show. We're going to have all kinds of people. Hopefully I'll be doing this segment over and over and over again. And we'll just get tons of different people and have lots of different fun and make good connections. Okay? And no shame in saying that all of those lawyers will be able to basically advertise to all of you and anyone who watches the video later in the same way, right? It's exposure for people who might not otherwise have exposure. Yes, half Asian lawyer is Bill. Gosh, my brain is turned off. Bill Richmond. Keep wanting to say Bill Simmons. It's so weird. Bill Richmond, the half Asian lawyer. Yeah, I would love to have him on. I haven't reached out to him yet. You know, there's the lawyer who took down Russell Greer, Greg Skordas. Maybe he'd be interested in doing a show. I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking a lot about this stuff. Let me talk why I didn't stream last night, and then let's get into this. I'm dragging out this intro 20 minutes. We haven't said anything. Okay. Real quick. So last night I was going to stream, but I got a call early in the evening, around 6 from someone, and they asked me to take a criminal case today. The hearing was this morning at 8:30, and it was just a first appearance, but kind of a wild case. It's a felony charge, so they didn't want the accused guy to end up in jail. They wanted, you know, someone to make sure that his release conditions were good and we could set up trial and all of that stuff. Unfortunately, that was 2.5 hours away from my house at 8:30 in the morning. So I had to get up at like 5 to leave. And then I was gone till early afternoon. But that's why I didn't stream last night. So I apologize. But I do, you know, I am still an attorney. And I have a soft spot for especially people with criminal charges who don't have anywhere else to turn. The fact that they're hiring me, who lives 2.5 hours away, is testament to how what kind of situation they were in. All right. No, it's not. There's no one in the window behind me except for Antonin Scalia. Paul Godin says, are you going to have a lawyer game show type of thing where subs ask questions and you have to buzz in? Winner gets all super chats? Everything except for that last part. Maybe winner gets all referrals. How's that? Which will probably amount to more than super chats. Okay. Don't forget the will. I will not forget the will. I will not. I'll send you the email that you asked for. In regards to that. Yeah. Oh, okay. The reflection is weird. I admit. Let me. There we go. That's a solid job. Straight line right across. That's what you want. A straight line right across. Parallel to the ground. Okay. The reflection was bothering me too. It's because I had to move my desk to fit Drexel over here. Okay. Let's do this. First, Google update. This is a joint case management conference. This was in the news recently as well. That's why I'm covering it. The headline said James Damore out of Google lawsuit. And so I wanted to provide an update on how this goes. Where are we? Where's my document? Here it is. So this is a joint case management conference statement. The parties, this is a very complex case. The parties are in case management. So, you know, lots of steps to this. This is a long, guys, this is a long haul case. But the important parts are here. Arbitration. So let me start here. You want more Scalia. Hold on. Can whiskey hold up Scalia? He's Catholic, so he probably drank. Now there's a reflection there. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. Anyway, this is good. This is wasting time. Okay. So let's start with this arbitration bit. The parties stipulate to submit the claims asserted by plaintiffs James Damore and David Gudeman. That's the main two original plaintiffs who are the class representatives that were Google employees. They've agreed to send them to arbitration pursuant to the arbitration agreements in their employment contracts. Plaintiffs state that in light of Google's demand that plaintiff Manuel Amador, he was added later as a plaintiff, also arbitrate his claims pursuant to an arbitration agreement. Amador instead seeks dismissal of his claims in both individual and putative class representative capacities without prejudice. So he's asking, if they're going to make me go to arbitration, I'm actually going to withdraw from this case, and I'm going to withdraw from the class case. So he's preserving his right to sue individually with that move. But he's out. He is dismissed from the case if the judge agrees to it. This is a joint stipulated agreement, so it's probably going to be agreed to. So the parties will file a joint stipulation requesting a partial stay of this action as to all claims asserted by Damore and Gudeman pending completion of those arbitrations. That's what they've latched onto, saying that Damore is out of the Google lawsuit. Damore is not out of the Google lawsuit. The case is not dismissed as to Damore. It is stayed pending arbitration, which means it's paused. There's a pause button that happens because they will go to arbitration. Depending on the outcome of arbitration, they may want to still litigate the claims. They may say that the arbitration was invalid, that the arbitration was an impermissible curbing of their rights under the Constitution of California and the United States. There's a whole lot of arguments they can make to try and overcome the results of arbitration. But they're going to go to arbitration first. One, it's a good faith move. Two, they might win. There you go. So Damore and Gudeman are not out of the case. It is paused. It will be continuing on as a class action lawsuit without their individual actions, without the individual causes of actions that have been asserted, and presumably without any discovery that would only relate to Gudeman and Damore. So, I don't know if any of those would, because they are probably still part of the putative class. So anything about them is going to be relevant to the class as well. Anyway. So, they were requesting a partial stay of the action as to all claims asserted by Damore and Gudeman pending completion of those arbitrations, and dismissal without prejudice of all claims asserted by Amador in this action. The only remaining claims will be individual and putative class claims on behalf of applicants denied employment by Google as described below. Yeah, we should definitely get rid of forced arbitration and bring back dueling. I agree. So I do want to read the plaintiff's statement and the defendant's statement. This is a good way to get an update on the case. I haven't read this yet. I haven't read this part yet. So we're going to read these and see what each party is saying in reference to this case. Plaintiffs McPherson and Burns and other class members were denied employment because of their actual and perceived conservative political activities and affiliations, and their status as actual or perceived Asian or Caucasian male job applicants. Google purposefully perpetuates and preserves its pattern. What? Who wrote this? Harmeet? Did you write this, or did you hire V for Vendetta to write this? Google purposefully perpetuates and preserves its pattern of discrimination, harassment, and retaliations against persons belonging to these groups by rejecting applicants who are or who appear to be conservative, white, Caucasian, Asian, or male, particularly where those applicants might speak out against Google's unlawful employment practices. Google also employs illegal hiring quotas to fill its desired percentages of women and racially favored minorities. Candidates and openly shames managers of business units who failed to meet their quotas, in the process denigrating employees who are perceived to be male and or member of a Google disfavored race. Just remember, Google disfavors races. Google famously demonetized my stream with a token black guy in it, proving that Google disfavors black people as a race. Google created an environment of protecting employees who harassed individuals who spoke out against Google's intolerant viewpoint. Plaintiffs bring this action on behalf of themselves and all similarly situated job applicants of Google that were discriminated against by Google because of their actual or perceived conservative political views and activities, their male gender, and or their membership to a Google disfavored race. Plaintiffs McPherson and Burns assert 7 claims against Google for political discrimination and coercing or influencing job applicants' political activities in violation of Labor Code 1101, 1102, discrimination on the basis of race and gender in violation of Fair Employment and Housing Act, FEHA, disparate impact discrimination on the basis of race and gender in violation of FEHA. Okay, real quick, let me help out. That's a term of art, disparate impact. So there's disparate treatment and disparate impact theories of racial discrimination in employment. They're 2 branches on the same tree of discrimination. Disparate treatment means I will look at race A and race B and treat them differently. On the face of everything, I will treat them differently. Okay? Disparate impact means that on the face of whatever employment policy you may have, it is equal. However, the impact of that policy disproportionately affects one race or another. It's not just race, but one group or another. For example, you could argue that demanding everybody to go to the bathroom of their biological gender would have equal treatment, right? All people would be treated the same because they are going to the bathroom of their biological gender. There's no status which would change how that works. But the disparate impact, you would argue if you were representing a trans person, would be that a pre-op trans person would be disparately impacted because they would be forced to go to the bathroom of the gender they don't associate with. They don't identify as. Not associate with. I don't associate with those genders. No, so that would be a disparate impact. So the treatment is equal, but the impact is felt more acutely in a particular group. One interesting case recently was down in Louisiana where the firefighter test, this is several years ago, but I remember it, so it's interesting. The firefighter test was found to be have a disparate impact on the races of the applicants because firemen were asked to swim a greater a significant distance with heavy equipment on. And the court or the review board or whoever dealt with it felt that there was, it was equal treatment. Everybody had the same requirement to pass this particular swimming test as part of becoming a firefighter in, it was either New Orleans or just the state of Louisiana. However, they found that black candidates routinely were not able to complete the swimming requirement specifically, and it had a disparate impact on black candidates to a point where they determined it to be racially discriminatory. So they actually said the impact difference between black candidates and all of the other race candidates are so high that we have to conclude that there's a racial discrimination thing happening here that merits action. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying black people can't swim. I think there's a lot of statistics to support that that black people, on average, as adults, are less likely to be capable swimmers than any other race. There's a lot of interesting reasons and theories behind that. It's a pretty interesting read. If you go read up on why that might be, there's a lot of possible causes. I would say it's not suggested that it's genetic or that it's inherent in some sort of DNA or a racial quality, but largely embedded in socioeconomic realities of this country. So there you go. So that would be a disparate impact, however. And there's some real questions about whether that's valid, because what if a fireman in New Orleans has to swim, right? Then you've got a question. You've got a question about how effective your firemen are. Are you compromising the ability of them to save lives due to this racial quota? And don't judge based on my description, because it was several years ago, and who knows how they've changed and adapted their policies. I don't know. I haven't followed up with it. All I know is that was a big discussion, was how disparate impact it was on the black firefighter applicants versus all of the other races. So certainly an interesting subject. Okay. Disparate impact discrimination on the basis of race and gender in violation of FIHA. Failure to prevent harassment, discrimination, and retaliation in violation of FIHA. Unfair business practices in violation of Business and Professional Code 17200. And for declaratory relief. That gin sneaks back into your throat. It's good. It's very tasty, but it has a little bit of a gaseous burn that comes back up when you breathe. Since the filing of the First amended complaint in this action, the parties have agreed that the claims asserted by former employees damore and Gudeman will be submitted to arbitration. Claims asserted to Amador will be dismissed without prejudice. Accordingly, the remainder of this case shall concern only those blah, 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 blah. Plaintiffs have considered Google's request for further amendment to the pleadings in good faith, but have not been provided with enough details to understand the nature of the request or what such an amendment would achieve. First amended complaint identifies each plaintiff class and or subclass who asserts each claim, and the anticipated arbitration of the claims brought by damore and Gudeman do not affect the claims asserted by McPherson and Burns. It is plaintiff's position that the job applicant plaintiffs are asserting claims only on behalf of the job applicant class members, not employee class members, and that any necessary narrowing of the proposed class definitions may be made in conjunction with plaintiff's class certification motion. John Russell, that's a good question. What about criminal background checks? Could that be found to be a disparate impact? So, the way disparate impact works, the short answer is yes. Short answer is yes. It's possible that they could find that. I'm not aware of that. Aware of that finding specifically happening, but it is possible that could happen. The question would be, once you have disparate impact, you have to determine if it is sufficient to raise it to the level of a discriminatory purpose. So if it's not a discriminatory purpose, I mean, sometimes there's just disparate impact. That doesn't always mean that we need to protect the particularly impacted class. And so if you've got, let's say, white people lie, right? Cis white males lie all the time. So if you have regulations on banking and finance, for example, you can't have fraud. You can't have a record of fraud if you're dealing with people's money. They don't let you do that. If you have a criminal history of fraudulent behavior, typically you don't qualify for any licensing in the financial world. So since cis white people lie, when they do that, that would have a disproportionate impact on the cis white scum liars, right? Right? That's according to Mark Zaid. I think I read that on his website. So you talk to him. So let's read the defendant's statement and see where they are on this case, and then we'll move on. Google can be behind us all. James Damore, the former Google employee who drafted and circulated within Google a memo contending that women are inherently less qualified for. Oh, I hate this because it's not what he said. It's not what he said. Less interested in, yes. Yes, less interested in, he definitely said. He did not say they were less qualified inherently. Good Lord. Actually, he didn't technically say women were inherently less interested in either. He said on average, they're less interested in technology jobs and leadership positions because of their gender. And it's not because of their gender. It's because of various traits that are consistent among the largest percentages of their gender subgroups. And his co-plaintiffs filed this putative class action for supposed discrimination against employees and job applicants with perceived conservative political views, gender discrimination against men, and race discrimination against Caucasian and Asians. Google denies that it ever discriminated or retaliated against, permitted harassment of, or denied employment of plaintiffs or any putative class member on any such basis. Google actively promotes equal employment opportunities for all of its employees and job applicants. Tell that to the whites and the Asians that you don't want to hire. And it is devoted to creating and maintaining an inclusive workplace that is welcoming to all, except for conservative white and Asian men. Let's see. Through this litigation, which is now limited to job applicant plaintiffs, Google will prove that all of the inflammatory accusations the job applicant plaintiff makes above are false. As an initial matter, Google will demur to and or move to strike the job applicant plaintiff's labor code sections 1101 and 1102 cross claims. The class claims asserted by so-called conservative individuals lack the requisite community of interest, rely on a putative class that is not ascertainable, and fail to allege any common practices by Google. Moreover, neither of the named plaintiffs is an adequate class representative for the political subclass, given that the inherent conflicts amongst members of the putative class bar any of the plaintiffs from serving as a class representative. I don't think that's actually true at all. But okay. Let's see. However, Google requests that plaintiffs amend the pleadings to conform to the claims that remain in the case following their agreement to arbitrate the claims of employee plaintiffs. Otherwise, there may be ongoing disputes and confusion about what claims remain. As just one example, the non-employee job applicant plaintiffs cannot validly assert claims for workplace harassment. Well, then those are stayed, you dummies. It's not that complicated. Todd Rector, how many subs did you get from EVS? Well, that's a broad statement. I've had EVS on the show thrice. Had EVS on the show 3 times. I don't know. Legal issues at this time. The parties dispute the following principal points of law. Whether the plaintiff's class claims for discrimination against conservative job applicants may proceed on a class-wide basis. Okay, so you have to certify a class, which means you have to have enough people with enough commonality to make it a class matter. Google is arguing that they can't certify the classes on the employees, right? Who James Damore and Guterman would represent as representatives. That's fine. Those claims are stayed for now. All of those other employees are presumably under arbitration agreements as well. So any of the existing stuff about harassment of current employees wouldn't be a claim. So that's not an issue. This is what Harmeet Dillon, who is Damore's lawyer, and their legal team is arguing that, well, when we go to certify the class, if we try to certify employed individuals in the class, then you would contest that because their class representatives are gone and the claims are stayed. So they don't know why they should have to amend the complaint again, and they shouldn't have to amend the complaint again. The judge should easily be able to stay out the causes of action that relate to existing employees and focus on the 7 causes of action that remain against potential employees that were denied employment. So that's where they are. Everything else is still in a holding pattern. There you go. That's Google, guys. That's Google for you. Let me pull up the next document, which is Maddox versus Dick Masterson. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let me just save this real quick to LoLsuit. All right, let me pull it up here. There we are. There we are. Jeff Smith says, if Thursday's show leads to it, are you willing to get into the wrestling ring with Tonkasaw? Because he very well could demand you to. Like a literal wrestling ring? Are you talking about like a literal wrestling ring? I mean, I guess. How big's Tonka? Is he a big dude? I heard the leaked audio. He kind of sounds like James Franco. Anybody else notice that? Did they listen to the, like when he was just talking? Not just his voice, but like the way his cadence. Cadence, that's what I'm talking about. He talks like he talks like James Franco. Well, I mean, I don't know. Where is he? Hashtag no docs. I don't think I live anywhere near him. I heard he's somewhere down south. He'd mess me up? We'll see. I guess. We probably won't see, because this is reality. I have no idea. I have no idea. What's the one thing I learned in law school that most helped my career? Let me think about that, Ian. Let me think about that. Okay. He's somewhere in Florida. Well, that's a long way from me. I don't know if he wants to like put me in a ring. I don't see why yet. That's a little preemptive. He hasn't even seen what I'm going to say about him. I don't even know what I'm going to say about him. So we'll find out what I say about him and how he feels about it. Like I said, he can come on if I'm giving Warski the time to come on and Tonka wants to talk to me about it. I have no problem talking to people who would be interesting on the show. People want to see Tonka? You know, I could make that happen. I guess. I don't care. he might think that Warski has said some lies about him or something like that. That's what's been alleged a lot. I don't know. I don't want to focus on this yet. Brief update in the LoLsuit. Brief update in the LoLsuit. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Alan Grant. I appreciate that, buddy. So this is an order. It was filed just the other day, like October 15th, I think. So this is very brief. I'm not going to read this document. It's not long, but I'll just read it real quick. Change my mind mid-sentence. A motion having been made by Patreon Inc. and Jordan Cope, collectively Patreon defendants, and having duly come to be heard on May 15th, 2018, for an order of dismissal of plaintiffs George Zunian and Jane Doe's, collectively plaintiffs, complaint pursuant to CPLR 3211A8, 3211A1, and A7. Those are, I think that's like failure to dismiss, improper jurisdiction, and forum nonconvenience. CD, no, you haven't missed the Comicsgate stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. Whereas, this court having issued an order dated June 22nd, 2018, a copy of which is annexed hereto as Exhibit 1, which stated that the Patreon defendant's motion to dismiss was disposed of as reflected in the court's transcript, a copy of which is annexed hereto as Exhibit 2, and directed the Patreon defendants to settle an order on notice. Now, upon reading and filing of moving papers, opposition papers and reply papers, and the motion being heard before the court, hereby ordered that defendants Patreon Inc. and Jordan Cope's motion to dismiss is granted. Patreon Inc. and Jordan Cope are dismissed from the action with prejudice, and plaintiff's cross motion for jurisdictional discovery is denied. So Patreon and Cope are out. They're get out! Get out! Ramos says, get out of my house. They're out. Their motion was filed. Motion sequence 3. Good Lord, that was filed on the 13th of September. It was entered. Oh no, it was filed. This was filed yesterday. Order was filed yesterday. So we've still got a couple days to see if when we will see Asterios' motion come before the court. If we will see Asterios' motion come before the court, that is still up to 13 days away. If we're on the exact same time schedule here. So hopefully he'll get around to it sooner. I was hoping that he'd get to both of them on the same day, but that did not happen. So here we are. There's the update. Landon Mackinjames says, Comicsgate, AnimeGate, AutismGate, Maddox lost. How's your father? Briefly, Maddox sued Dick Masterson for $20 million back in November of last year. That is what started my YouTube channel. So there's a giant video series full of all the hours of entertainment you could want. It is one of the dumbest lawsuits. It's one of the dumbest lawsuits you will ever read. So just go to the LoLsuit playlist on my page, click play, starting at video 1, and just strap yourself in for the next 60 hours. The next 60 hours. So, and let's talk a little bit. I try to be fair, okay? I try to be very fair on this show. I have obvious biases. I don't apologize for them. Well, I might kind of just say, I'm sorry, I'm biased this way. I try to be as overt as possible in my biases so people know about them. I disclose them when I find it necessary. I have been opposed to Maddox the entirety of the LoLsuit, opposed to all of his legal actions. I was on his side against his own attorney, Kevin Landau, who I still think scammed Maddox. But Maddox won't talk to me about it, so who knows? I can't prove that. It's just my gut feeling. not a factual statement, Landwy, if you're still watching, you dirty dog. But I will say this. Asterios published an article on medium.com just the other day talking about Maddox's offer to settle this case by giving his share of the biggest problem in the universe, ownership, to Asterios, which he valued at $45,000 because he doesn't know how to value a business. Okay. I like Asterios very, very much. He's always been kind to me, except for the long period where he had me blocked, but that's a separate story. All of our personal interactions have been very good. I think he's a funny guy and a lovable guy as well. I was not a fan of the article that he wrote, and it would lack integrity for me to not say so. So I'm going to lightly talk about that for just a minute. Asterios did nothing illegal. Okay. He did nothing illegal in doing this, nothing unlawful, nothing prejudicial, nothing like that, nothing unethical. Personally, I do not think he should have written the article in the way he did, because it looks like he might not be negotiating in the best faith, or he's misrepresenting the negotiations he's doing with Maddox, with the people who are watching. And I don't really care for the method that he took there. Again, nothing wrong with him doing it. Personal preference. When I'm in negotiations with another party, I take those negotiations very seriously. I take the good faith aspect of them very seriously. And no matter how heated or angry or zealous I might be with that other party, I try to be open and honest with them and as candid as I am allowed to be in the effort to resolve something for my client in the best way possible. So, I would not have written the article in the way that Asterios did. Some people may enjoy it, and that is absolutely fine. But in the interest of being as pragmatic and fair as possible, I will say that I wasn't the biggest fan. I'd be surprised if Greenberger was super happy about it, but Greenberger doesn't control Asterios, except when it comes to making him write checks. I think he does have that power over him. So that's my opinion. Some people have asked me about it, and I just wanted to say a couple words. Like I said, I didn't read anything that was illegal or unethical or anything. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But Asterios knows what he's doing. He's got excellent counsel. So, carry on, brother. I still want you to win. I still want you to get justice, because what happened to you is unfair. So, there we go. There's that. Hopefully that clears things up. Let's talk Comicsgate, right? Let me prepare my my sock puppet Twitter account that I developed just because Comic Pros kept blocking me. It's not my fault. I don't want to have a second account on Twitter just because Comic Pros can't take tiny jokes. Okay, let's go to... Here we go. Does Maddox get to write the apology? Okay. So, and if you are here from Comicsgate, one, of course, thank you for being here. Love you guys. You've been nothing but kind to me, and I really appreciate that. Two, thank you for sticking with me through some of the content that you may not be familiar with. I've covered the Google lawsuit since its inception. Google employees were not receptive to me in the way that Comicsgate was receptive to me. So you guys are doing way better than Comicsgate was. But I encourage you to check out the series on Google. It's a pretty interesting case all around. And the allegations and screenshots in there are mind-blowing. And if Comicsgate tickles your political fancy, the stuff going on at Google with conservatives and Caucasians or whatever will definitely be of interest to you. Will you still fist fight any Google employee? Yes, except for the big ones. Yes, except for the big ones. And I have a feeling there's some big old fat Google employees that I wouldn't want to fist fight. When I made my fist fight threats, I weighed 25 more pounds than I do now. That's how long I've been doing this. Talking about the Google lawsuit, guys. I have lost somewhere around at least 25 up to 30 pounds talking about Google. Probably from all the sweat and whiskey. Landon Magan James says, weenies need to GTFO. Hip spreading, nothing inherently wrong with being a cuck. Nick, please tell me this doesn't sound like a fellow anime fan dad. Okay. So anyway, here we go. Are Google employees legally allowed to talk to you? No joke. I have been approached by at least 4 software developers, SWEs, software engineers, at Google from all over the world, different areas for all 4 of them, to kind of thank me for the videos and to give me just little bits of information and say that they were really afraid to speak out. So Google employees aren't really legally allowed to talk to me under Google law, apparently. Okay. Let's see if I can get this to work. Oh, yeah. You can kind of see the Twitter behind there. What's going on here? Should I just close this? Get out. Get out. Here we go. Topic to start with is Jason Youngbluth. I've never heard of this guy. Do you guys know who this is? Oh, he doesn't, yeah, I don't know. Who's this guy? YouTube is Gay says, if I wanted to sell amyl nitrate, cleaning solution people use as a drug in small batches, what kind of lawyer should I talk to? Whew, you'd have to talk to someone pretty specialized. You'd have to, someone who specializes in specific business licensure. I'd look for someone who represents pharmacies, someone who represents cleaning companies or material companies who sell, chemicals of various kinds. I don't know of any off the top of my head who do that, but you could probably contact like the legal departments of a local pharmacy chain and just ask who they use, or you could Google it. But that's a complicated question. Okay. So this is Jason Youngbluth. He writes these Dramagate things. I don't know who this idiot is. Clearly doesn't follow me on my sock puppet account. Oh, you guys can't see that. Yeah, you can't see that. So here's Jason Youngbluth. I'm going to try and figure out how to best approach this. Look at that. He got 1 retweet. That was nice. Sort of. let's talk about some things here. So let me open with my criticisms of Comicsgate. I know who it is, guys. It's a joke. It's a joke. Sorry. It's a joke. I know who it is. I'm saying he's a nobody. He's forgettable. All of that stuff. I know exactly who it is. Yes. Sorry. Just, guys, I'm sorry that the dry sarcasm wasn't coming through appropriately. Sorry about that. I know who Jason Youngbluth is. I've read his entire Kiwi Farms article. Zero Fox says Chasin Youngbush roaming pedo. Wow, that's some strong words. Okay, so yes, I threw him off the stream, and I would do it again in a heartbeat because it was funny and it felt good. Here's what's going on with Jason Youngbluth. Now, he has since stopped messaging and tagging me in everything on Twitter. Thank God, because it's so boring. And I just can't stand that no one ever likes his stuff, which is sad. So he finally stopped messaging me. So I kind of stopped paying attention to him until someone DM'd me that he had a Kiwi Farms article. So I went over and read. Have you guys ever been to Kiwi Farms? Have you guys ever been to kiwifarms.net? My buddy Moon, Josh runs. No, wait, he doesn't run Kiwi Farms. Mundane Matt runs Kiwi Farms. I forgot. Josh must just be a poster over there. Null, whatever you want to call him. I think he's been doxxed all over the place, but Mundane Matt is the owner of Kiwi Farms. Null is a poster over there who I have talked to on a couple occasions. Someone DM'd me that Jason Youngbluth had a Kiwi Farms article, and I went over and I read it, and it was it's a sad display. It's a sad display of Jason Youngbluth trying to find attention anywhere he can and not really finding it anywhere friendly. And he's not doing it in any competent way. But if you want to go check it out, it's only like 12 pages long. It's not the longest. But you can go see how this man brains. And I will say that it's not well. He brains suboptimally. But he engages with the Kiwis on Kiwi Farms, with the farmers. What are they called? Kiwis? Farmers? Whatever. He engages with the patrons of that website, and things don't go well, which I've heard you're not supposed to really just try and engage them very often, but he does more of the same. So that was last I heard of him. That was a couple days ago. Only 12 pages. That is a lifetime. Oh, buddy. Russell Greer has like 1,187 pages. So, so anyway, so I read through it, got a chuckle, turned off. Today, I see that Youngbluth is going all sorts of nuts, trying to, and you'll notice this, he's desperately trying to promote himself. He's like, and here, why is he trying to promote himself? He's got a book coming out. He's trying to hawk his 2 older IPs, or borrowed IPs, whatever you want to call them. Weapon Brown, whatever else he's hawking. But so he's trying to get, he's clear, like that's why he came on the show. Let's be honest. He wanted to promote himself in his book. The funny thing is, he could have done that just fine. And he might have gotten some good buyers, but instead he came on here and decided to be a douche paddle. And that's the legal term for it, I think. And turned an audience of 1,200 people hostile. When he could have turned an audience of 1,200 people to at least lukewarm. It's a weird plan that these people have, but they don't. It's important to know that the anti-Comicsgate side seems to be people who are allergic to making money, allergic to doing business in any sort of proper way, and allergic to building a platform based on anything legitimate. The platforms that do exist seem to be because, you know, they drew a famous property at some point, and so then they have a big platform of fans of that particular run of books. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. But they just seem to blow opportunities left and right to be kind to people who might buy their stuff. So here's what we've got. He's doing this. I can't go back through all of it. He's too autistic. What is Comicsgate worried about now? Maybe this, or maybe not. On Friday, I will post my final Dramagate column, describing in detail how anti-Comicsgate took down the Indiegogo campaign of Vox Day. Please follow and retweet. He's got lots of engagement on here. Big stuff. Here's the Comicsgate is giving. Listen to how detached from reality and intelligence this person is. Comicsgate is getting nervous that their opponents are getting organized. Their opponents are two mega corporations, DC and Marvel, not to mention Image, are opponents of Comicsgate, with creators with tens of thousands of fans being exposed or exposing their fan base to lies about people on the internet on a daily basis. Do you think they're worried about you and Rick Rotman or whatever with your collective 4 people who ever read your stuff? More people are reading your tweet now than read it when you tweeted it. That's how sad this is. That's just live. You're welcome. You're welcome. But the collective 4 people between you and Rick Rotman that read your boring drivel getting organized isn't scaring anybody, because they're going up against an organized industry who can fund Mark Waid, crybaby, roll on the ground, tantrum throwing, horrific pile of garbage Mark Waid, a $750 an hour pompous stick up the anus nice gentleman attorney by the name of Mark Zaid. They're so organized that they could find and fund the most expensive attorney with the closest name possible to Mark Waid. And you think they're worried about you? You? The disconnect. The absolute comical disconnect. You're doing math. 46 years old. And all you have built is like a massive amount of credit card debt, a bunch of boring IPs that people can rightly question if you're a pedophile or not over, and then IPs that you borrowed. That's it. You don't have anything else to show for it. You don't have a following that's appreciable for someone who's been doing this forever as an independent creator. You've got nobody. There are guys who have been doing this for 6 months with bigger platforms than you. There are people who haven't released books with bigger platforms than you. And you think that Comicsgate Guys like Skyver and Diversity in Comics with 70, 80,000 followers. Who have guys like Ian Miles Chong on their show with 70, 80,000 followers. You think they're worried about you because you're getting organized? They've been fighting an organized system the entire time, you dimwit. This is why you're so dull and uninteresting and why you can't make a cogent argument. Because I don't know if you were dropped on your head. I don't know if you just had a drawer opened on you. I don't know if... I don't even know. Maybe someone just asphyxiated you as a child over and over and your brain ceased functioning. It doesn't matter. You can't form cogent thoughts or arguments. You don't even seem to understand how basic economics works. It's embarrassing. You should probably quit. Andrew Gluck says, J-Soy, Maddox, and Mundane Matt, NPC Voltron. Vladimir, is this guy on Madcast? That explained the numbers in perspective. He's not on Madcast. Unfortunately for Madcast, I think Jason gets maybe more interaction than they even do. That's another embarrassing thing. Landon Mack and James. More people support Comicsgate than hentai with the plot. Big problem, guys. Voted up. Also, you guys need to super chat more, you pleb cucks. Well, I'll let you make that statement, but I will endorse it, sir. Michael Strelitz. Yeah, we're getting to the just some guy and the that umbrella guy. So JSG and Tug, we're going to get to those in a little bit. All right. Here we go. So he's been tweeting about this. He's teasing his Dramagate. Let's take a look at a Dramagate thread. Again, everybody is scared of these engagement numbers in Comicsgate. They're worried because they're getting organized. All right? Oh. Look at this. Werewolf Bar Mitzvah says, if you all need more reason to be excited for Friday, there's a fantastic column coming from Jason, who's been documenting all this hashtag Comicsgate BS. Seriously, retweet, like, spread the word any way you can. Any way you can. So, that's good. That got a retweet. Unfortunately, it was from the person that she was quoting. And that's it. It got one like. Let's take a bet on who it was. Who's the like? Oh, no, the like was from someone else. Joe Corallo. 2003 Kids Philosophy Slam finalist. And here's all you need to know, guys. Pronouns in the bio, all you need to know. Pronouns in the bio, all you need to know. So let's take a look at what a Dramagate thing looks like so that we can see how dangerous this will be. Yeah, I know he's in Twitter jail. We're getting there. IGG rocks Vox. Vox shocked vows docs. Oh, I get it. It's like Dr. Seuss. Because if you noticed, he borrows everything he does. Theodore Beale, a.k.a. Vox Day. Alt-right supervillain and junior partner in the Comicsgate racket. Was stunned to discover on Thursday that Indiegogo had retroactively canceled the crowdfunding campaign of his comic book project, Alt Hero Q. Cancellation occurred just 24 hours before the money raised was to be transferred today. Around $103,000 will now be refunded to pledgers to the Q campaign. IGG has scrubbed all traces of the campaign from their site. Is that true? Let's take a look. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So let's, where's the search? Search. No, I don't want. Okay, here we go. Search. Alt Hero Q. So it looks like it is gone at the moment. Is it Alt Hero Q or Q Alt Hero? Hey, look at Ember War. Good job. Good job, buddy. Let's see. One more thing. Vox Day. That doesn't work. Arcaven? Maybe I should do Arcaven. Yeah, so I'm unable to find it. I don't know if you have a direct link, if it would work or not. Doesn't really matter. I just wanted to see if it was a... You never know, because see, he writes these satirically, so it's hard to say what is actually real. Cyron Jag. I just saw a photo of Mr. Youngbluth. I guess we need to be building those 3 walls because that's a Titan. He's going to eat people. Okay. So they've scrubbed it. IGG's terms of service apparently allow them to cancel a campaign at any time for any reason. Yeah, most terms of service do until you fight back. And we've got to fight back. Whether Vox will fight back or not, I don't know. I'm speaking generally about terms of service. We've got to start fighting back because these adhesion contracts are ridiculous. It's unclear what led to their action against Day. I thought it was clear, Jason. Vox himself believes it may have been SJW interference inspired by a ponderous interview conducted with him for Bleeding Cool and posted yesterday. I think there might be something to that. Bleeding Cool has since yanked the interview and apologized for giving Day a platform. The archived article can be read here. You know what's unfortunate is that, I don't know. Never mind. I shouldn't make fun of Bleeding Cool too much. CD, do we know that it's the copyright infringement? Because that involved a Batman picture. If right, that involved a Batman picture, I think. Okay. So, following his campaign's cancellation, Day took to YouTube Thursday and announced his intention to both sue Indiegogo and begin a harassment campaign against IGG employees. Notice he just flat out rips off Vox Day's video here. I wonder if Vox would be interested in reporting that for a copyright violation. I don't know if he offers any commentary. Unfortunately, no one else does either, because you know who watches Jason's YouTube channel? Should we find it? Let's see. Oh, this isn't even a link to YouTube. This is just a picture. I thought maybe Jason made a YouTube video. Jason does have a YouTube channel. Certainly check it out, I guess. It's got a whole lot of views. Okay. VFM, we have an enemy day announced. Find out everything you can about everybody at Indiegogo. You are on go. All right. VFM refers to Vox Day's fan club. Vox is, he's got a nasty one. Mouseketeers who date. See, so this is probably not true. Okay, I can't. Look at how long this is. Oh, this is boring. Okay, so anyway, that's that. I'm going to stop. No more attention necessary for that nonsense. So then he went to doing, this is the thing he does where someone makes fun of him and he thanks them for the signal boost, I guess. Look at that strong light game. He's got Rick Rotman. If you'll notice something, guys, a little while back, Rick Rotman engaged. I don't remember even who it was on Twitter. That is the video. You just open the thumbnail. Oh, God, I don't want to go watch this stupid video. Well, we're going to ignore it. All he gets is a thumbnail. I don't want to give him any views. Rick Rotman So up until about a week ago, I guess, a week and a half ago, Rick Rotman's bio said something very different. It said that he was an e-commerce expert. The only interesting thing was Rick Rotman displayed literally zero knowledge of e-commerce. And actually, he displayed a lack of knowledge of e-commerce. And after getting made fun of for his e-commerce specialities while being an Uber and Lyft driver, he took that off of his bio. So take that as you will. Remember, Jason Youngbluth is going to team up with Rick Rotman, and those two getting organized are what is going to take down Comicsgate. Finally, someone is going to do it. Andrew Gluck, EVS says to report Jay Soy's Twitter for harassment. You know, I don't do that. I don't encourage people to massively report things. If you find something to be abusive on Twitter and in violation of its terms of service, and you want to report it, do it. That's up to you. I don't call on people for any sort of flagging campaigns. Not a big fan of that. So EVS. Oh, that was the criticism. The old noggin. I did have a criticism to level at Comicsgate, and it's more of a caution than a criticism. It's more of a caution. And it starts here. Not because it starts here, but because it's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. Here is... You've got Ethan, and Ethan is his own guy, and they will do Comicsgate their own way. Again, I am happy to interact with Comicsgate, but I cannot call myself a part of Comicsgate. One, because I'm not a creator. That might change in the future. We'll see. But I'm not a comic artist, and I'm not a comic writer at the moment. So I can't call myself Comicsgate in that respect. Comicsgate, do I support the ideals of the movement? About creating independent products, creating products people want to buy, and treating your fans with dignity and respect. Yes, I am part of Comicsgate in that way. I think Ethan needs to be a little careful in directing people to do stuff. Now, to be fair to Ethan, he did say that, and he's responding directly to, let me find it if I can. Here it is. Indiegogo should probably take a look at your upcoming project, Ethan. If you call me a pedo cartoonist one more time, I promise more attention for Rainbow Brute from the wrong people than you could have ever imagined was possible. That's one. Then he's got just some dumb replies. Where is it? Oh my gosh, this is a boring... Look at how bad this guy is at marketing. Ugh. Hold on. I got to find it. He tweets so much nonsense. Tillip says, if you write it, I can draw it. John Penn, that's a long question. Probably not. Okay, so here we go. Someone says... Oh, so Donald DeLay says, wow, you see this, Ethan Van Sciver? Youngbluth is not even hiding it anymore. Here's his... Let's look at his thread. Oh, we'll go back to that. Okay, wait. Sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm trying to put together how best to describe this. You guys probably know. You guys probably know about this more than I do. Because I was in court in a car all day. But yeah, so Youngbluth is not even hiding it anymore. He's blatantly calling for people to target livelihoods of honest and good people to keep them from supporting their families. Let me mildly hyperbolically say that if you're out just trying to interfere with people's jobs, maybe you should be hit with a sack of wrenches. I don't know. I'm not advocating anyone to do that, but you might deserve to receive that. Leave people's jobs alone. What is with you disgusting little maggots running around the internet, reporting to your internet mom and calling everyone's manager because they made fun of you because you're such a degenerate pile of garbage that you can't make a friend, even on the internet. You can't even make friends where people make friends with pedophiles. Like, that's how bad you are at life. And so then someone mocks you and makes fun of you or hurts your little feelings or makes fun of some group where you're trying to white knight, and maybe some member of that group will return some sexual favor, because we all know that's what's going on in your brain. If you enter the drum circle, maybe one of the dancing chicks on LSD might bang you one day. But here's the rub. They won't. They never will. None of them will. None of them. If you want to interact with people, just go do it and stop being a scumbag, and people will probably talk to you. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But if you think by like targeting Ethan Van Sciver and diversity in comics and that umbrella guy and just some guy and trying to demonetize them and going after their books and going after their livelihoods, that Renfamous is going to come down from on high and give you a handy, it's not going to happen, Jason. You're a 46-year-old misshapen ball of... I don't even know. What are you a ball of? I was going to just say clay. That's how mundane you are. And I didn't think it'd be funny enough. But maybe we don't need to be funny here. Maybe we just need reality. You've spent your entire life not being successful at this. It's not going to change now just because you go white knight for someone. Okay? It's not. I'm trying to be helpful here. Part of my job is counselor, to provide advice to people. Just advice. My advice to you is stop. Stop. You can't afford it. They kind of can, but you can't. And you know you can't, Jason. You know you can't. You can't afford this. So stop it. Because if they came after you and shut down your silliness, you won't be able to afford it. If you do that one thing that tips you into illegality and someone decides to sue, you're broke. You're done. It's not a joke or a game anymore. It's not a joke or a game. People's lives getting ruined leads to lawsuits. When people can't pay for lawsuits, people get shot. Do you understand where the stakes go after lawsuits, you dummy? Do you even get it? Do you little Twitter warriors ever understand that this is what gets people killed? Again, don't mistake me as calling for violence. I'm cautioning as hard as I can against it. But when some weird lady on YouTube's channel got demonetized by YouTube, she killed people at YouTube. Or tried. I think she killed... Did she even fail at killing herself? I can't even remember. But you guys understand this. When someone's got like a wife and a kid, and you go after their job, and then they have to like sell their house and move into an apartment and start living paycheck to paycheck because you ruined their livelihood, because you called them a racist when they probably weren't, just because you are such a soy-filled pile of pillow-biting garbage. that you can't talk to people without first putting up a billboard saying, look at the giants I've slain. Look at all my good deeds. You need a virtue signal 10 miles high so a woman can get past the smell of you, Jason? When you do that to someone and you knock them off of their success, eventually it leads to violence. You've got to stop. You can't afford it. You can't afford it. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. I see people who commit crimes because they get desperate all the time. I see people at the end of their rope all the time. Literally. I have a client right now who's charged with 2 felonies, and on the day he was charged with those felonies, he tried to hang himself twice. The people are at the end of their rope. They make irrational decisions. When you try and go after people's livelihoods, they make irrational decisions. Don't do it. Good Lord. No one can afford that. It's not worth it. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. It's Twitter. You pile of idiots. It's Twitter. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm my voice is dry. Give me a second. These people are so detached from reality. These people are so detached from the reality of everybody off of Twitter that they think what happens on Twitter matters. It's not just the Carl Manvers pillow biting. Whew, that's harsh, sir. Well, you could take that a couple different ways. I'm going with he's going to be crying, holding his pillow and biting into it with all of his tears because he's alone at night. Some people may take it as he'll have a companion with him. I doubt his ability to even have an unwilling companion. Okay? But these little disgusting things, this is not limited to Comicsgate, by the way, or the anti-Comicsgate or the whatever. These little role players. They call them LARPers, NPCs, SJWs. It doesn't matter what label you put on them. They're all the same. Same thing at Google. They spend so much time on Twitter brigading and rallying sounding the clarion call for justice while never getting real justice for anybody. Even the people, like even if you accept their premises as true, they're not achieving results because they're just on Twitter. They're just getting one more cis white male taken down. Hashtag beat the patriarchy. But that doesn't do anything to the patriarchy that you say exists. It's just one guy. So they do this. They do this all day and they think that they matter. And they forget that they're so first world, that they're so 1% of the entire Earth's population. They're so far up the chain of patriarchy, of colonialism. They're so far up the chain of oppression that they can spend all day on Twitter. They're not dealing drugs in streets. They're not out there having to shoot the guy who took their corner. Spend a day in Chicago or Detroit, young Bluth. Spend a day outside of your stupid New York apartment, you boring stereotype. Spend a day where people struggle to eat and see what decisions they make. Now realize that you're advocating to put people in that position. And they know it because you're doing it publicly. Your address is on Kiwi Farms, idiot. You might want to move. Guys, this stupid little lump of ice cream DM'd me on Twitter. Begged me not to talk about the Vox Day thing. Okay? Basically crying. like a baby because he couldn't sleep in the bed he made. He said he was responsible for taking Vox Day's thing down. Then he tried to retract it. I tend to believe the retraction because he's such a weasel. I don't think he's capable of doing anything. But he made the claim. And then, lo and behold, a bunch of fans of Vox Day, who he consistently rails upon as Nazis, like violent, mono-thinking groups, he consistently rails upon them. And what happens when he takes victory for getting their Dark Lord demonetized? They come after him. They start making threats to him. He starts to get scared on the internet. Behind his little thing, his address goes up on Kiwi Farms because he's stupid. What are you doing? You can't afford it, Jason. And I'm not talking about money. You're scared now? You start getting people's projects taken down that they've worked years on. You start doing that. See how well that works for you. See how well that works for fans who don't get their products. See what happens when one of them, just one, has a bad day and snaps. Isn't that what you claim all of the right wing is ready to do at a moment, right? We're all mentally deranged. We're all unhinged. We're all drunks and alcoholics who can't control themselves, right? Right? You dumb idiot. You consistently deride people as off of their rockers and out of control of themselves. What happens when one of those people is? You'll die, you dummy. All right. All right. So, that's Jason Youngbluth. Let's move on. Let's move on. I don't want to give him any more time. Don't want to give him any more time. If you think that he's out there trying to wreck people's lives, you probably should report him on Twitter. You probably should. If for no other reason than to prevent violence and threats from happening to him. Because it's gonna come down to it, y'all. We're in a civil Cold War. I'm plenty fine to say it. We have been for a while. I think people are figuring out where those lines are drawn. I hope we never transition into another civil war. I know a lot of people who want it. Unironically. And trust me, they have more guns than you little tofu-armed, wizard hat wearing, comic convention, Charlie Brown IP stealing piles of trash have. They have more guns than you. They want it. So when you start giving someone an excuse, wait till the economy turns and see what happens. You all are begging for Trump to fail and the economy to fail. What happens? What happens when people lose jobs? Doesn't go well, you morons. Okay. All right. Let's move on to just some guy. Okay. Anybody have just some guy's Twitter handle? Yeah, Mechaniki. I know he's tried to retract that because he got a bunch of threats. He got a bunch of threats. The people he accuses of being violent Nazis threatened him. Shock. Okay, so let's see if we can find that umbrella guy. Here's that umbrella guy. Okay, so this is the other side's game plan now. Okay, just some guy CC. All right, I'll go that one next. This is the other side's game plan now. Report channels repeatedly and see what sticks. On the day I was riding home from surgery, I got a notification from YouTube. Apparently, the false flagging is happening again. People like SJW Spider-Man admit it openly. Team YouTube. Here we go. So, hi, that umbrella guy. As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, Edwin Boyette joins that umbrella guy to talk NPCs, culture, crazies, and more, was flagged for review. Upon review, we've determined that it violates our guidelines. We've removed it from YouTube and assigned a community guideline strike or temporary penalty to your account. Let me be very clear to YouTube. I do not advocate violence against anybody. Ever. I don't advocate harassment against anybody. I'm cautious to suggest people report violations on Twitter. That's how anti-brigading I am. So, YouTube, if they flag this for advocating violence, I'm trying to keep violence from happening. This is my official statement to you. I do not condone violence. I don't condone punching a Nazi. The people who will report this video do. They condone it. I do not. I don't condone punching anybody over political disagreements. I don't condone punching anybody unless it's in self-defense or in a controlled, consensual environment with referees and under rules. You know, like boxing and MMA. So, if you want to review this video, if you end up reviewing this video, I have this on record. I will be clipping this for if the review comes in and you guys didn't watch this far. But I do not advocate or condone violence of any kind. I'm like basically a pacifist these days. So, don't at me, bro. Here we go. So SJW Spider-Man spooky version says, tired of seeing Richard Meyer being platformed on YouTube, monetized and using Indiegogo as a way to sell his comics. Contact IGG support at Indiegogo.com. I do not recommend doing that because even though Indiegogo says that you can, even though that Indiegogo says that they can break a contract at any time, case law in Texas, where Richard C. Meyer lives, suggests that even if they can sever a contract at any time, it's not severed until the interference. Don't do this. Don't do this. Report his YouTube videos for hateful content. Channels Splato Delgado and Diversity in Comics. Diversity and ampersand comics. Okay. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it. Just make better content. Just make content making fun of him and have all your subscribers and followers pay you. Weird how it works. Do that. Or is there a problem with that plan? There's a problem with that plan, isn't there? Okay, so that umbrella guy, he's been demonetized. Tug, if you happen to see this, if you're watching, or if you watch later, if you ever want to come on my show, you're welcome to. If you ever want to come on and I'll give you a long time to do a segment or whatever, just let me know. We'll make it happen, buddy. You shouldn't be deplatformed. You know, I can't do much about YouTube's monetization, but if you ever need to utilize my channel to make some statements or whatever, you're welcome to come on. We can have an interview and a chat and stuff like that. All right, let's go to just some guy. There he is. So this 15 hours ago, people false flagging videos on YouTube is why BitChute is so awesome. Here's the video Mark Wade and his Mirror Universe lawyer, Mark Zaid Esquire, apparently don't want you to see. So here's the video. I'm not going to play his videos. I just don't. That's time. You guys have probably seen them anyway. If you haven't, go support Just Some Guy and watch his video. He had a video taken down, and he made some... Let's see, where was it? Okay, so he says Mark Wade and Mark Zaid false flagged his video. I think it's a little clickbaity. I don't know that he has specific information that Wade and Zaid flagged his video, but the video was flagged and taken down. That is his response where he lays it out. Now, he noticed on TubeBuddy that YouTube has Mark Wade lawsuit and Mark Wade sued marked for potential demonetization because talking about what's actually happening violates YouTube policies. Now, I don't know how YouTube develops those policies, but it could be because so many people are flagging all of the videos about them that YouTube has an algorithm that just says if people are reporting these things, that it gets an automatic yellow, or it could be a concerted effort. I don't actually know. Sketch therapy. Hey, buddy. Yeah, don't worry about my health, man. I'm in very good health. I'm in very good health, and I'm not suicidal. So every time I make fun of Hillary Clinton, if you ever find out that I have killed myself, know that it was not me. It was the government. Or it was Mark Zaid. Yeah, if Mark Zaid's the guy who always sues the government for freedom of information stuff, what happens when he's the killer? So yeah, check out Just Some Guy's video, of course. It's like 4 minutes long. Go give it a watch. Guys, if you want to support guys like Just Some Guy and That Umbrella Guy, especially if they're like That Umbrella Guy live stream gets taken down. When you can't live stream, you lose super chats, of course. You lose a lot of income from that, no matter what the scope of your channel is. If you're doing live streams with super chats enabled, it's a part of your income and it's probably significant. So support those guys by going and watching their videos, their non-live stream videos. Just give them a click, especially if they're only a couple minutes. Pro tip, if you turn off your ad block and watch like 2-minute long videos from people, and they get a lot of views, that's worth quite a bit of money too. So anyway, let's see. Morgana says, trusted flagger. This coordinated false flagging campaign is attacking all members of the comic book community known as Comicsgate, which isn't a hate campaign, just comic fans that don't want overtly political comic books. Yes, that's interesting. They're trying to bring Trusted Flagger in. He hasn't responded. That guy's usually very busy, so it might take some days. I can't retweet because it's my sock puppet account. No one can know what it is. No one can knows. All right, next. Final topic. We're gonna you notice there's a second Mark Zaid. That is his personal law firm. It's not an active Twitter account. Very rarely tweets. So there's nothing on there, but that's not, I first thought maybe it was a parody account. It is not. Fook Googoli 2 says, keep on keeping on. Thanks, buddy. I will do so. So Mark S. Zaid Esquire says he had some brilliant words. Yeah, Sevrage, you've missed most of it so far. We've got a little bit more to do. Not a ton. My sock puppet account is not Rick Nikeda. That is not me. If you see Rick Nikeda, That is not me. That is genuine. That is not me. My sock puppet account has 0 tweets, 0 followers, and 0 no, it does follow a couple accounts that I have specific purposes to follow. Okay. Here's what I don't like about Mark Zaid. I have a Twitch channel. It's there. It's partner status, so it is monetized. I like YouTube better. I get better results when I'm on YouTube, but if something happened on YouTube, I would definitely go to Twitch in a heartbeat. So, okay. Look at this. Anyone shocked by this allegation? White nationalist Richard Spencer accused of physically abusing his wife throughout their marriage. Mark, it's an allegation. You're a lawyer. You know how this works. That could be not true. It could absolutely be true. Is anyone shocked? Maybe that's what you mean. I'll be charitable. Maybe that's what you mean. You mean no one should be shocked that a white nationalist named Richard Spencer would be accused of physically abusing his wife. I'm guessing that's what you mean, and not that you mean that he did it. Right. Let's see. Boring. Okay, here's what I was looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. Mark Zaid started this thread. More I learn Abbott Comicsgate, more I am honored and privileged to defend at Mark Wade in lawsuit filed against him by one of its leaders. Apparently you haven't learned enough about Abbott Comicsgate, Mark Zaid. It's not a top-down hierarchy. You should call him one of its creators, because he is one of the creators. Please help Medicare. He's in Minnesota still, I think. My DMs are open, Jim. If Jim wants to contact me, I would love to talk to Jim. I'd love to. I don't know what I can do for him, but I would talk to Jim in a heartbeat. I don't have a line to Jim. I don't have a way to get a hold of him. So if he contacts me, I'll do what I can. All right. Superman and Captain America would not approve. Enough said. Yeah. I don't know if Captain America is your best option about this, Mark Zaid. Captain America is a Nazi Hydra agent, you idiot. But you're not a comics fan, are you? Nothing resonates more than this Superman message from 1949. Like, I have to read every tweet he does in like a Trey Parker parody voice. How interesting. This particular article was published by Eric Francisco on February 9th, 2018, and names Richard C. Meyer as a leader of Comicsgate while outlining some of his crappier moments. Well before Antarctic pulled back on their deal. Interesting, very interesting. Ding, ding, ding. Mark! You idiot! You're so stupid that it's funny and frustrating. Because I don't know why you're so successful when you're so dumb. Antarctic Press knew all of this. That's not a point for you. That's a point for Meyer. They were doing business with him. Even though this article was out. And when people brought it up and said, we're going to boycott and drag Antarctic Press, they said, good. We're doing the right thing. It's only when your giant man baby came in flailing about, frothing at the mouth, spittling into his own eyeballs, and crying that Antarctic Press might publish a bully's paper, and then offering to publish an interview to help Antarctic Press gain business based on their decision, wink wink, if they make the right one, wink wink. Only then did Antarctic Press decide to cancel a contract, which is a violation of tortious interference with contract under Texas law. Only then. And you call me an idiot, you dummy? What is wrong with you? You think this is good? You think this helps your case? God, I hope this goes to trial. Just for that. I can't wait. Man, I hope you lose. I hope you lose. It'll be so funny if you lose. You can't settle, can you? Your ego is going to be the size of Rosie O'Donnell. And you won't be able to advise your client to settle. Mark Wade, you might want to consider alternative counsel. Because Mark Zaid's big giant face might be too big to properly advise you in violation of his ethical responsibilities. I don't know. But he made this bigger because he's so stupid that he thought it would be smart to insult a bunch of people on Twitter who have never heard of him instead of just winning a case. He thought that was the better approach. And now your lawyer, the person who's supposed to be the non-invested party to offer sage and impartial counsel for your best interest, is compromised because he's so dumb, because he's so stupid, because he's unethical. Zaid, what are you thinking? Engaging these people on Twitter. You twat! What are you thinking? You're a disgrace to the profession. You say I shouldn't have a license? You say that? I'm making entertainment content. I'm not insulting the other party to my lawsuit. Publicly. You idiot. How does anyone think you, whose ego is the size of the cakes that need to feed Tess Holliday, how is anyone going to think that you're properly advising Wade's best interest? Because it's going to look a lot like Zaid's best interest really soon. You hack job. $750 an hour. You're a scumbag pile of garbage. You disgust me. You disgust me. Because people like you are why people hate lawyers. You're disgusting. I'm done with Mark Zaid. All right. Well, that went well. What is Pantene Pro V? There you go. All right, guys. I think I'm good for the night. Unless anybody's got some last minute topics. Oh, Michael Avenatti, also a scumbag. Good job, Michael Avenatti. Now pay the lawyer you owe $4.5 million. Stop exploiting your clients for publicity. Stop it. Okay, that's my mini Michael Avenatti rage. I don't know if I could take another one tonight. Anyway, so yeah, guys, I think 2 hours is probably a good stream for tonight. I've got a morning court thing, so I'm gonna turn in. I think I've covered the subjects I wanted to cover. Let me briefly recap what's coming. Recap what's previewed. Okay. Tomorrow, 11 p.m. No. Tomorrow, there will be a prepared video, likely Hambly versus Lauder. That's the quartering or unsleeved media versus the guy who punched him in the back of the head at Gen Con. Outside of Gen Con. Whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Oh, by the way, Rick Rotman wrote about that event and apparently was okay with it or something, because that's when he turned anti-Comicsgate after people read his article about that. So I don't know what that's all about, but find an archive version and read it and then make fun of him for being terrible at life. So that's tomorrow, because I will be at an event in the evening. I will not be available to stream. So I will present a prepared video for you guys. Bagel Goose says, Nick, stop. He's already dead. Next thing, Thursday, Andy Worski live. We're going to be talking about the Tonka leaks. We're going to be talking about the faked screenshots, the fake Snapchats, Photoshop Snapchats, trying to get Andy Worski, his reputation damaged, making him look like a something. I don't even know. We're going to get Andy's perspective on that. We're going to talk about if that's actionable or not. We're going to talk about, there's some complications. I think he lives in Canada, or he was Canadian citizen. I don't know actually where he lives, so maybe. But how he would navigate those, we're going to talk about that stuff. That could be very interesting. Friday, final reminder, not final reminder. I'm going to be talking about this. I'm going to remind people of this all week. I think it'll be a really good show. I will have Stephen Birch, who is an IP lawyer, primarily IP, although he does all sorts of other stuff. And I'm going to have Grand Admiral C, who I believe is primarily a criminal lawyer, but he does other stuff as well, because we all do other stuff. We will have a lawyer panel where we will discuss the Discord terms of service changes. We will discuss the YouTube super chat allegations that they will take offensive super chats and force you to donate to a charity. And then we will have an open panel discussion where we will just be, having a couple drinks, chatting about topics. And then if people have questions about legal issues, they will get some very free, non-legal advice, but just some preliminary information about whatever legal subject that is, and maybe a suggestion to talk to a lawyer in their jurisdiction, or maybe they would be in one of the jurisdictions of the gentleman on stream, something like that. But that will be Friday. Other than that, I don't know about this weekend. We'll see how the week pans out. I have a couple ideas on some new styles of video that might be coming out, different types of interviews, and some different directions for the show. Or not really directions for the show, but clarifying specific aspects of the show. So, just keep watching. Keep watching, hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Go watch EVS. Go watch whoever else. Support Tug and just some guy. Hopefully they can get those things reversed with some help, because it's false flagging. Silly time to be alive. Silly time to be alive. Anyway, guys, peace. I'm going to blank the screen out. You guys have a good night.